What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today we're back to talk about D&D. If you guys saw the video from I think last week or so, I talked about a character that I created by the name of Ryuma. And Ryuma was an entity created by the three dragon gods of Shinto Ryu, which is a world within my very own D&D universe that I've been creating. So now that I kind of fleshed him out a little bit more, I'm going to talk about how his mechanics work with the lore behind him. If you guys want his origin story and kind of a little bit of background behind the planet that he's in, you can check out the video at the end of this video. I'll put a link there so you guys can check it out. But for now, let's dive into Ryuma, the Aasimar fighter. As I stated before, Ryuma was created by the three sibling dragon gods of Shinto Ryu. His body was formed to mimic that of the angels of paradise. That way he'd be able to infiltrate the enemy world and strike down the false gods upon it. However, this angelic form that he takes could only be utilized once a day. When he does become an angel, golden radiance materializes upon him in the shape of large ethereal wings. And on top of this, he can also harness this power onto his swords to deal great radiant damage. So Ryuma being an Aasimar, that's kind of how I made the whole gaining like the 30-foot fly speed and dealing my level and radiant damage to a smaller attack for a minute a day. You get this ability at 3rd level, so that's kind of what's happening with this style. Also, for his fighting style, I chose to give him 2-weapon fighting, and because of this, he wields 2 short swords. And these 2 short swords are actually part of the trio of swords that he carries, these being the legendary swords that are named after the dragon gods. So you have Amaterasu, the blade of roaring flame, Tsukuyomi, the moonlight sword, and Susanoo, the sword of crashing waves. Each one of these weapons gives him certain abilities. For example, Amaterasu lets him fire off a firebolt spell, while with the Tsukuyomi blade, he can cast Ray of Frost. So even though he's a fighter under the class of samurai, usually they don't get the ability to cast spells. However, I did decide to go with the Magic Initiate feat at 4th level to give me those spells and kind of bring in that flavor to my D&D character. So that's where I decided to go with Firebolt and Ray of Frost as my 2 cantrips. And then the spell that I decided to go with him was Magic Missile. And the way I'm utilizing Magic Missile is that after defeating the Yamada no Orochi, aka the 8-headed serpent, that is when Ryuma was able to absorb some of that demon's power into himself, and now he can summon forth the Hydra's heads to lash out at the enemy and deal damage. And this creature that he killed is so powerful that the magic missile never misses. So whenever he does this, it's going to be a sure hit. However, he can only do this once a day because he's utilizing so much power. But in terms of mechanics, that one spell that you gain from Magic Initiate can only be done once per day, I believe. Now, since Ryuma was created by gods, his celestial nature gives him the ability to basically see through darkness. Within 60 feet of him, he treats dim light as bright and darkness as dim light. On top of this, he also gains both radiant and necrotic damage resistance to kind of showcase that he's been blessed by gods. And on top of this, he is mimicking that of an angel, and angels are already blessed with like radiant power, so that's why he can resist that. And on top of this, he gets the light cantrip, which can come in handy a few times, but nothing really too big there. The world of Shinto Ryu is split into like 2 halves, kinda. So for example, you have the Earth domain, which is all pretty much human creatures, and there's a few other ones, but this is kind of like a lower tier, or a lower caste in that aspect. On top of this, you have the Divine domain, which is being ruled by the 3 Dragonborn nobles. Each noble has a type of specification, each one pledging themselves to one of the 3 dragon gods. So you have like the Fire Dragon Clan, the Moon Dragon Clan, and the Water Dragon Clan, and all of them have properties in their blood that allows them to heal. So, because of this, when the 3 dragon gods were creating Ryuma, they gave him Dragonborn blood to basically give him that self-regeneration, and that is where his ability of being able to heal 1d10 plus his level and hit points as a bonus action is kind of manifested in that sense. On top of this, he was also trained to be an expert samurai, so that is why he can channel his inner martial powers to be able to do a bonus action to gain 5 temporary HP and also have advantage on weapon attacks for that turn. And that's him basically calling upon his dragon blood and his martial powers to just be a beast in close combat. With all these abilities, Ryuma is a expert in close combat fighting. He has 2 weapon fighting, so we can add his ability modifier to his offhand damage when attacking twice. If he's taken in too much damage, he can heal, and if he's got to get out of there, he can go into his angel form and get that fly speed, basically breaking off from close combat. And that is where his magic initiate feat comes in handy, because then he can just fire off either fire or ice type spells at the enemy, or if he really needs it, he can finish him off with the magic missile. So no matter where he's at, he's going to be a threat, more so up close because he can do 2 attacks. And yeah, so that's my character of Ryuma and how all of his abilities for being an Aasimar fighter samurai come into play with his lore. He's only currently level 4, and in the campaign that he's been playing in, he's died like 4 times. So even though I've stated that he's really good and he can kind of keep the fight going and prolonging it with all those healing abilities, the campaign that he's been in has been really, really difficult. He's fought up against a tree, which is basically a hanging tree. So actually he was trying to fly away, he got caught by one of the nooses, and then the trees basically split open, revealing like a maw with a bunch of like teeth and like blue ethereal flame, and he was put in there, and yeah, he almost died. So he hasn't been doing too good, especially how overpowered the lore makes him seem. But I think this is showing him some humility. Currently, he's actually hanging from this tree. He got knocked out. He didn't die though, so he's stable at 1 HP, but however, he's all tied up and he's hanging from the noose on this hanging tree with the rest of the party. So, surprised, there was a total party kill. However, this kill happened in a city where death isn't permanent. So that kind of helped us out. However, we're all in the same predicament. We're all hanging from this tree. So it'd be pretty interesting to see where and what happens in the next session, since we're all kind of on a very, very bad situation. But again, if you guys have any D&D characters that you want to showcase down in the comments below, make sure you type it up and give us the backstory behind this character. Don't forget, we also put out Warhammer 40k videos each and every day, so hit that subscribe button for more 40k goodness. We're also going to be putting out some giveaways pretty soon, if they're not already up there, so be sure to hit that bell so that your notifications always come to you. I know YouTube's a little weird with like notifications and sometimes not coming through, but that's the way it is, so just be sure to check out the channel every now and then to see if the giveaways are being posted. As always, you can always hit us up on our Facebook page for more things 40k and D&D, and that's all I got for today. This is the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys next time.